it gonna record?
Is it recording?
There it was recorded.
Awesome.
Right. Does everybody know they're being recorded?
Yes.
I do know that I'm being recorded.
Is everyone okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Delta.
I'm gonna do my mind map like online, so I'll be able to share my screen with you guys at some point, like, and show you that way.
I'm doing mine on my whiteboard.
I'm doing mine in my notebook, and then I'll transfer it to Teams later on. Anybody got any initial ideas?
How about, I know
Yes,
we've
I
never
do,
talked about
actually.
it before, but what about the musical Six? Like, I know it's never been discussed, but Six?
That would be fun.
That's an idea.
I had an idea for a gender bent, a kind of like, not a gender bent variety, but like for example, a variety that like we do roles that we never get to play usually. So like we're never gonna get children roles. We're never gonna get like we're not gonna get male roles usually. So like as those.
Depending on the show.
I'd kind of love to be the genie from Aladdin.
Oh,
Say the word genie. Genie?
Genie.
Genie.
Yeah.
I was thinking, because we all love Barbie movies.
Yes.
Barbie and the Three Musketeers, but Barbie and the Five Musketeers.
The six.
Oh,
We love
wants to be
Barbie.
Barbie.
Well, no, because Barbie's one.
Because Barbie joins them.
Yeah.
Instead of doing that, could a Barbie medley?
Oh,
Angel. So
Did I do? I feel like it's quite a dark one.
into Barbie movie in general. Like Barbie and the Princess and the Pauper has songs in it, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To
That's an idea for a musical. Barbie, Princess and the Pauper. That connects with Barbie medley.
going off cartoons in general, we could look into something maybe Disney related. Maybe look like at the Disney princesses.
Oh.
So like a Disney medley.
Yeah.
What
Or
did
maybe Disney villains.
Disney villains.
I also had a.
I'd really like that.
That's a good idea. Cartoons in general. Obviously, you said cartoons. There's quite a few underappreciated cartoons that I think could possibly, we could possibly look at, like outside of not just in Disney, but outside of Disney. We've got Anastasia, which I think is well appreciated. You've got cartoon TV shows like Adventure Time. You've got Steven Universe. There's like loads and loads of options that we could explore with that.
I have an idea. Going off of like what Steph said, do you know the Seven Deadly Sins? Them, but like what Disney villains are they? Like Ursula would be like Greed.
Or
Ursula's sister would be like Envy or something.
we could do that, but like a variety show. So like it doesn't have to be Disney, but can be like any villain, anything like.
Anything that's matched. Like if you did it off like
With
favorite
that, is that
people,
there's only 6 of us and not 7.
I know, but it could be like 6 people, like different ones, and then one of them could be like all of us have it.
Oh, that's true.
That's a good idea.
Be Pride. All of us would have pride.
Yeah.
There was one idea that I thought up from watching the first year showcase is like cell block tango, but you go into more detail on each of the backstory of the murderesses.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Like
That's
shows
good.
how they got there.
I feel like I would be the person to hinder that one for Amber liking it, just because I've literally just came out of doing it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But, have you got any ideas?
Well, it's really boring compared to your other ones, but I was just thinking Heathers.
I like others actually.
We could do that as well because there's 6 main women roles in it as well. Because you've got
Some
3
could
others,
be,
Monica, Martha, and Miss Fleming.
but in like instead of having Miss Fleming, we could have just a female version of help me
Jade.
out. Jade, yeah. Because I mean, who's to say that they aren't lesbians.
True.
Maybe Jade's just a henchwoman.
Yeah, we love a henchwoman.
Can someone just read off their list the ideas? Because I feel like I've missed quite a few.
I've currently got Barbie movies, Heather's, Seven Deadly Sins, and then I'm going to go off them with more ideas. So like the different Barbie movie ideas and the different like Heather's ideas and stuff like that.
There's gender bent variety.
Yeah.
Like things we'd never get to do.
Yeah.
I've
got Seven Deadly Sins, 6 Heather's, Barbie medley, and the gender bent musical thing.
What was one of the first ones that you put? Disney villains. That's the one that I've not that one.
That's still linked to Seven Deadly Sins.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Separately.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it separately because I'll link them later.
I was about to say, what did people do last year? But did you guys get to do?
We did. Yeah.
I mean, we got to do a couple.
Yeah. We get to perform them though. Really, we only got to plan them.
Oh my god, we could do Bridget and the musical.
God.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying Ratatouille the musical.
Ratatouille.
You
I
know.
don't manage Ratatouille.
What?
I was just saying about Ratatouille the musical. I don't know how we'd manage with our like only 6 people because there's quite a few characters that make an impact.
Well, you do like a Brechtian style like multi-role thing.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. I'll whack it down.
You know Olivia from my year?
Yeah.
She wants to do the Lorax the musical, and it gives me life.
I do love Laura.
I love the Laura.
You could do something similar and like turn a cartoon film. Like I know we've already got some ideas for cartoon films, but like
we could do like Sing. Have you ever watched Sing?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah, because that's a bit like a variety show, but got a story behind it.
So do something like Sing, like not Sing it itself, but like where we have like a storyline like that, and then make it.
Yeah, so it's not Sing, but it's
like a talent show.
Based off.
Talent show variety.
That's fun.
X Factor the musical.
You know, there is actually an X Factor musical written by Harry Hill called I Can't Sing.
That's ruined that for me. I love Harry Hill and I want to watch that, but now that's not an option. I was going to make an original.
No.
What is everyone drawn to?
I'm intrigued by Heather's, but I don't know it that well. I need to watch it.
I think it'd be too complicated. Only 6 of us.
I don't know. Is it complex?
No, I don't think it would be. We'd probably just have to miss out some key points and change it a bit because obviously there's some sections in it like the bit with Kurt and Ram. If we don't have Kurt and Ram, we can't have that section.
What about
realistically, based on like the general story of Heather's, would we be able to do that social distance? Like think of like Dead Girl Walking and that.
I mean, we could try. Actually, I had an idea about this. Imagine if we had like a white sheet and a light coming from behind, so it created shadows. But if whoever was playing Veronica and who was playing JD were like behind each other like that, so have like say JD's like lying down like up a bit, and you have Veronica kind of like sat, but behind him, the shadow would still portray as if Veronica was sat on top of him.
It's like playing with perspective.
Yeah. And I think we could do that with a lot.
That's true.
So, like, even if we didn't do Heather's, we could apply that to other musicals or other performances where, like, say people had to touch, we'll just make an illusion.
This is another thing we have to consider. What happens if you have to go online?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair point.
Oh, yeah. We could probably do a lot of the variety shows online since we've already done that.
The only thing is the storyline, because storyline's what gets you marks and a higher grade. That's the only thing.
Well, just make sure that people got acting pieces in between. What are you saying, Steph?
I quite like the Seven Deadly Sins idea.
I like that. And I think if they all represent a colour, don't they? So we could all have a different colour to like represent, a bit like Six.
True.
I like the idea of Six a musical. I think.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead, Hussein.
No, I was just gonna say, I don't know. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm the worst person because I've never actually watched a musical. But could the Seven Deadly Sins apply in any way to Six? Could you combine the ideas? Like, does Henry VIII have any of those qualities?
I'm sure Henry does, but I don't know how we'd apply that to like the Six themselves.
I don't think the queens themselves would.
Okay.
Maybe how Henry acted towards them. So that could be something like if we were going to go down the route of perhaps doing Six,
yeah,
looking into the Seven Deadly Sins could be something we can look into for like research purposes. Like for example, like you could say that like Henry definitely lusted towards a lot of the queens,
like Howard especially.
Yeah.
Would you not think though that Henry, out of all of them, if it was 7 characters altogether and Henry's not in it, but wouldn't he represent gluttony more than anything? And Howard would be lust.
But even if we didn't apply that to like, I mean, obviously we'd apply it to a pop performance, but it'd be a great thing to research into. It'd be a great section of research because we've also got to think about, is there enough behind everything that we're doing to research? Like, I love the Barbie movies idea, but what kind of research would we be able to go into apart from other fairy tales and things? It would be very similar to, I know Alex, you didn't do it, but the Shrek research we did, and maybe we want to move away from that and do something a bit more historical or a bit more in depth, like Heather's. You can go into social stuff and like social problems and how like mental health and things like that.
But then again, Heather's is set in the 80s and we just did Rock of Ages last year.
Yeah.
With Six,
two very different styles though.
With Six,
this was like the rock era.
We can look at historical context with the Tudor times. We can look at political context. Looking at the royalty aspect, but we can also look into with politics. We can look into religion and stuff as well. We can look at how Henry disbanded, make the C of E, Church of England.
Woo!
There's sick people.
Can I also say, how talent show idea?
Say that again.
Six is very talent showy in a way because they're all competing.
It is, yeah.
Competition.
Another idea, Hercules, the Disney movie.
Yeah.
Make that like more musically. So obviously there's songs in it already, but like add dance and that to it.
That'd be fun. I like that.
And then you've got all the like Greek mythology to research and the history of Greece and all of that.
These.
I think the 3 ideas I'm drawn to personally are Six is my top one.
Yes.
I think gender bent variety. I think with gender bent variety we can encompass more than just age and gender as well. Because we're never ever going to be able to do a Barbie movie on stage. We can actually incorporate Barbie into it and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think as well, the Disney villains one is my.
Yeah, I really like the Disney villains actually.
I'm gonna make 3 ideas.
I really like Alex's Hercules idea though. I do think that's fun.
We can also incorporate Hercules into like Disney villains and stuff because like Hades and the underworld and stuff.
Yeah, true.
You guys know a lot more, I think, about like rights and stuff. But with things like that, with the Disney villain idea, could you use a song from the musical Hades in that?
Possibly.
Yeah.
And then there's the new musical
Cinderella. Really, as long as we don't charge for tickets. So if we don't charge and we just do some fundraising ourselves for FMP in general, if we use anything that we would have to buy rights for, we'll just it'll be fine because we're not charging. The whole thing is you shouldn't be making money off other people's work, but if we're not making money, it's basically like we're just sat singing the songs in college anyway, but just with lights and costumes and in front of the rest of the class.
But if we're not profiting off other people's work, it should be fine.
So it's basically you don't make money off me if I'm not making money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't know about anyone else, but I think, considering all the other ideas, I think 6 is a good blend of all the other ideas that we had. Like it's a good blend of the sing idea of having like a competition, like 7 Deadly Sins can be incorporated into that. Like the attitude of some of the Heathers and the thing that they go through is can be incorporated to some of the characters from 6 and their personalities.
The thing is with 6 as well, like you can take your character and just completely make it your own. So you can choose any inspiration. So you could inspire one of the queens off a Heather's character.
Yeah. And also, it'll be quite easy to apply social distancing.
Yeah.
Good for going online.
Yeah, and going online because there's a lot of solos. I mean, it's fair as well because there'd be a solo each. And all of the all the group numbers, if we recorded them like we recorded the group numbers from last term, it would be pretty much exactly the same, and there's not as many of us as there would be in Say I'm a Believer last term, so what's to stop us doing it? And if we just figured out some choreo that we could do at home as well, so making sure that all the choreo that we do in college applies in your living room, we'd be fine. Or at least we could adapt it. Like obviously in the space we'll want to move around more. And that applies to do anything, whether it's 6 or not. If we did Heathers, we'd have to do exactly the same thing. Only I reckon with Heathers, it'd probably be a bit more difficult, seeing as though it's like a school.
Yeah.
How would we get that across well? And also, Heather Chandler gets killed. How can she get killed through a screen? I mean, I'm sure we would be able to do it, but it'd just be a bit more difficult than if we were all alive. Well, I say that. The girls in 6 aren't alive.
I think that with 6, because there's all the roles are equal, everyone gets a solo. There's a nice blend of acting, singing, and dancing, and the set is very minimal. So and there's only a few props. So I think ideally, 6 is going to be the easiest to do as well.
So what?
We also just make. We haven't really spoke much about the Bridgerton musical, and I really like that idea. So could we just discuss that for a bit? I really love that idea. Have we all seen Bridgerton?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Have we all seen the
Abigail's halfway through, aren't you?
I watched episode 6 last night. I'll witness.
Okay.
Lovely.
So
I'm sure you enjoyed that one.
The musical route, we'll probably have to not do episode 6.
No, we'll probably just do a section of it. It wouldn't be like the entirety of Bridgerton, or if it was, we'd have to shorten it a lot.
Yeah.
So that would take a lot of time. I know we've only got 7 actual rehearsal weeks, but 10 weeks as a whole because we all know what we're like. We're going to be rehearsing constantly no matter what. I mean, Alex especially is going to be like, extra rehearsals during holidays, guys.
Yeah, that is one thing you should know about me. I am very much like, come on, let's get this done. Let's get this the best it can be. So.
I'm sure we'll be fine. But it is something to take into consideration. We would have to cut it down and create a script and things. But I think it could be really effective. And I know that it'd be really hard to find costumes from that era, but if we apply the same kind of vibe from 6 and we use that kind of we'll take inspiration from that era but make it modern, it could be a lot easier to get costumes that way. And I also love Bridgerton and it'd be really fun. What's everyone's thoughts?
Can I know what everyone's top 3 is? I think I know Becky's.
Mine would be Disney villains, whether that be applied to the 7 Deadly Sins or whatever. Six, and Bridgerton. They're my three.
Yeah, mine would probably be the gender bent variety, 6, and the 7 deadly sins.
Mine would probably be 7 Deadly Sins, 6, and the gender bent variety, I think.
I would say that mine's the same. Be gender bent variety, 7 deadly sins, and 6.
I think I'm the same because I like the gender bent idea because I'd just happily either be Frankenfurter or the genie.
I would love one of my favourite like musical theatre characters ever is Seymour from Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes.
I adore him. I would love to do like a little Seymour thing.
Yeah.
I think that'd be
I
really
really
fun.
like the cell block idea, like going into the character more.
I just don't think it would work.
I think it would.
It would work if you didn't just do it.
Yeah.
And we'd probably have to write a song. Like, I know we're using like Cell Block Tango, but we can't just have Cell Block Tango. We'd probably have to either look for songs that would apply to those girls, or write songs.
But I think the backstories or like what they've done to their husbands or boyfriend is so specific. It'd be super difficult to find.
It's true.
Especially in the Fosse style.
We'd have to like find a song that we liked, use that tune, and then rewrite the lyrics. And it would take a lot of time. I mean, I think it would be really effective. I think it would be really fun because everyone knows Cell Block Tango. Everyone would know the stories of the girls, and it'd be really interesting to go into it. But it would take so much time and so much thought.
Especially since the song is already so long. It's already a 7-minute song.
Yeah.
So
I also think
so much time just for the performance, like plan. Go on, Becky. Sorry.
So going back to the gender bent idea, I think there's a number of songs that I believe we could do. I'm thinking A Little Bit Naughty from Matilda. I know it's not gender bent. We'd never get cast Matilda children. I think A Little Bit Naughty would be so fun. I know it's a really funny song. Lost in the Woods from Frozen 2.
Oh my god, that's my favourite Disney song ever. Lost in the Woods.
I've also got I've got some songs from Hamilton. Sorry, we've got Alexander Hamilton. You'll Be Back. We've got. There's quite a few songs from Hamilton though, and then there's also I don't know where I've got the idea for Beauty and the Beast. You can do Gaston.
That would be class.
Oh my gosh, or be our guest. And imagine a dance routine to be our guest. I mean, I did it. I've done a dance routine before in like feathers and heels. So if there's any way we could get a hold of feather headdresses and heels, I mean, if you guys have never done kick lines before, you're gonna hate me for this. But like, imagine a big kick line with like, I don't know, like just for instance, Becky being like guest, and we were like kick in these big like feathers.
How class would Emma sound singing Santa Fe from Ulysses as well?
Oh, I love it. But that's definitely something that we could look into quite a lot. And research-wise, we could go into sexism and representation of women and go into the backstory of how only men were allowed to perform. And men played women's roles, men played men's roles, and any woman who was like in theatre whatsoever was kind of on the same level as like prostitutes in that era. Like, and we talk about that and how women were represented.
Greek theatre and how women weren't allowed. You can look at Shakespeare because women weren't allowed to play on his stage. There's like loads of things we can encompass in that, as well as like children weren't like as well. We can look at the treatment of child actors, and how they cast like up to 30-year-olds to play teenagers in a lot of musicals. We can look at that instead of casting actual teenagers and giving young people like an
opportunities.
And they cast older people, so we can look at all that in gender bent variety as well, or like variety of opportunities we should call it instead, because it's not just gender bent.
It could be like I've heard like roles we'd never play. That wasn't. I've heard that idea being thrown around. That could be used. We'd have to think of like a really fun name for it.
I like the I think variety of opportunity.
Yeah,
Right, opportunity sounds cool.
that does sound cool. Because it's like, it draws people in, they're like, what's the opportunity? Ooh.
The opportunity is that you get to play whatever role you want to play.
The only thing we'll have to consider though is because we have only 7 weeks, we'll have to decide. Like, bear in mind, we had about 10 weeks for the last showcase, but we knew basically from day one exactly every single number that's going to be in it.
Mm.
So since we've got less time, we'll have to
quicker.
figure out like almost immediately what we were going to put in the show.
I think it should all sort itself out quicker though, because we won't be learning online. We'll actually be in person, because that's what made everything take so much longer.
As well, the only issue I've got with variety of opportunity is that there's not a lot of opportunity to act.
That's what I was about to say.
No, that's true.
It's going to be
It would be difficult getting a storyline to it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'd probably have to like try and make it a bit singy.
Mm.
Like take it back to like the talent show, and it would have to be like more talent show related.
I think it'd be too difficult. We'd have to write a script if we were going to do something with it. We want something. We need something that we can annotate, and wouldn't be able to annotate it.
I'm missing an idea and I can't remember what it is.
It's definitely something to still keep in mind though.
I agree.
So definitely, variety of opportunity is a big one. 6, I think, is a big one in my opinion.
Yeah,
And Bridgerton the musical is one of my favourites, but I think Disney Villains would be a lot easier to do, and it would apply to everyone.
Just be a thing of with Disney Villains, like what group numbers would we do?
Yeah, we'd have to maybe find some and change the lyrics.
We could even like do Cell Block Tango as the Disney Villains or something like that.
Yes.
Todrick Hall.
I've seen the Hall medley. The Todrick Hall mashup is really good. The villain mashup.
That'd be fun.
But then
We could use that.
How would you make a 60-minute show with that?
Yeah.
True.
We'd have to find songs that apply to your sin. We'd have to write a script, and we'd have to think a lot into each character. So in the script, every sin needs to represent itself. Like gluttony, you cannot say something that would not apply to gluttony. We'd have to think really deeply into it.
Yeah.
It would be an effort, but I think we could pull it off.
When it comes to like what would be easiest to prepare and practice, that Six's material is already all out there.
Yeah, and everyone knows it, apart from like Alex. I don't think Alex knows 6 very well.
3 songs.
Whereas like I know everyone else like loves 6, and we all know it quite well. So it would be quite simple to pull together, and I think it would be out of all the ideas. I think it would come out the best quality.
Figuring out things.
It also isn't a very long show either, which it's not very long, the show. Like it's an hour and like a half, is it?
Just a quick,
I don't think.
If we were to do the 7 deadly sins thing, what would everyone want to represent? Because I know I'd be really drawn to like lust.
Oh God.
Does everyone know what the sins are?
I do.
I'll get them up and read them out.
There's sloth, which is like laziness. Gluttony, which is like eating. Greed, which is like money. Lust, which is sex.
Pride.
And wrath.
And envy. And wrath. Yeah, there's 7 though.
But obviously we'd only be able to do 6.
Unless there is one that all of us encompassed. So unless we were all envious, or unless we were all angry, or something.
I would like lust, but I'd also be happy doing like pride. I quite like that. I looked a lot into it in like GCSEs where I did Pride and Prejudice, and I thought it was really fun. So
I think pride is something that everything could encompass.
Yeah, everyone
Yeah.
should be proud. I think
Yeah.
I'd be happy being wrath.
Yeah,
Anger.
that's what she likes. But I think we'd all be able to do it evenly. A bit like if we did 6, it would be quite an even split. We'd just have to do a lot more work.
Yeah, I feel like it's a more complicated version of 6.
Yeah.
So.
And I think a script wise, we'd have to like base it off 6 as well, because like in 6 they do a lot of like back chatting and a lot of banter between each of them. I think that'd be the best way to do it for 7 Deadly Sins.
Obviously, you guys know a lot more about FMP than I do. Do you
Well,
have to do all 3 of the disciplines?
You don't have to.
you just have to encompass musical theatre. Because we've chosen musical theatre, we kind of have to dabble in each of them, but we wouldn't have to do a massive acting piece.
I was going to say, so could acting come under like a characterization in a song or something?
Yeah.
But it's probably best to have, I mean, just a couple scenes. Like, it wouldn't have to be a big, like, not like a play, but like just a couple bits in it where it was a bit chatty, and just to kind of, like Abigail said, it was like storytelling.
Kind of like the monologues in Cell Block Tango. Like, they're not massive scripted pieces, but there is acting.
Yeah.
I think even though 6 is one of the easier options, I still think it'll definitely push us, because like you've got the speaking behind a track, because everything's done to a backing track, even like all the acty bits, and you got the choreography, because that's more like commercial style choreo.
Yeah.
I think will push us all as well.
I think we pushed vocally as well, like even singing.
The songs are difficult.
But I do think there's a song that suits like everyone, and I think as a group we all have quite a wide range.
Yeah, I mean, out of curiosity, like I said with the 7 Deadly Sins, who would everyone be interested in? We'll go in a circle. Abigail.
I would quite like to be Cleve.
That would be fun. Steph?
I quite like Catherine Howard. I think she's cool.
Emma?
I think because I like my vocal range and riffs, I'd want to be Pa.
Mm-hmm. Alex?
I think I quite like Anne Boleyn, and I already know her like a little bit in the Ex-Wives song.
That's very Regina Georgie.
Yeah,
I would honestly say
Why you're talk to her.
Anne Boleyn is honestly like, I would just say Velma Kelly and Regina George in one character.
Literally, it's Alex. Becky, what about you?
Sorry, I'm not saying you're a meanie, but Alexei would suit that character very much. I think I like Catherine of Aragon. I think I really like her.
This is going perfectly, is it not? What would everyone like? Everyone choose a different one, because my favourite's Seymour.
Imagine if we all picked the same one. That was.
I want to be Cleves. Steph's like, well, I want to be Cleves. Emma's like, well, I was thinking of being Cleves.
There's other characters.
Question of how it works. If any of these ideas, how does it get cast? Like, how is that decision made? Does Amber do it?
It's between us.
Okay.
It's up to us. Obviously, if there was a bit of clashing, we'd probably have to do like a little audition-y bit, but we might have to ask other people to do it, because obviously there'll be biases and people's opinions and blah blah blah.
All right.
So
okay.
we might have to like get Amber involved. But I think we're all pretty much on the same page 6-wise, and I think the 7 Deadly Sins isn't that intense of like casting, because obviously there's no set pieces yet. You can apply it yourself.
I was just wondering how that worked.
Yeah.
I think that 6 is our strongest idea, personally.
Yeah, I think we've got 3 pretty solid ideas though to talk about.
100%. I think.
You have to present the other ideas, not just 6 as well.
Yeah.
See what everyone else thinks.
To be fair, we have talked about the other ideas quite a lot as well, though. We've discussed them all very clearly. I think.
I really like the 7 Deadly Sins idea, because I don't know who said it before. It could have been Alex, but like it's like 6, but like it would be a lot of effort. It would be a lot more difficult than 6, but I think it'd be really fun. I just don't think we'd be able to get the quality out that we would by doing like
In
say
7 weeks.
in 7 weeks.
So
Seven in 7.
can I just double check to make sure I know what's going on? The 3 ideas are 6, 7 deadly sins, possibly slashed with Disney villains, and the gender bent variety of opportunities.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love them all. I really do.
Yeah, I would be happy doing any of them.
What's everyone's like favourite character that they definitely would not be able to play?
I've said mine. I've shoved mine like down your throat. So
What, for right of opportunity?
Yeah. Since I've asked about the other two, I might as well ask for this.
I have to fight Alex on this and say sweet transvestite.
Oh,
But there is other roles that I could
it's
play.
okay if we do it. I'm willing to give up Frankenfurter if I get to be the genie.
Well, I was
Genie.
I would give up to do You'll Be Back.
Ah.
Oh, you'd kill that song. That'd be really good.
I would love like JD from Heathers.
That would be mint for you.
I would love it because it's so completely out of my area. I'm always either the high energy like woo one or like the ooh one. So I feel being the like grr one would be really fun.
I think it's a leather jacket as well.
I love a leather jacket.
I don't know about solo wise, but I think if we went down the route of right of opportunity, I just think it would be funny if I did a duet with someone singing what's the song?
Is this going to be Miss Saigon?
Yeah, Sun and Stars, Moon and Stars, something like that from Miss Saigon. Except I'm Chris, and one of you is Kim.
Yeah, because then Steph's gender bending, and the other person's doing a role that they would never get.
Yeah.
Oh, fun!
Didn't get to do Dr. Frankenfurter or You'll Be Back. I'm really sorry, but I'd really like to do a duet with Abigail. We've talked about this outside of this, but we really want to do it from Heathers.
We would love to do a curtain ram duet.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. Say we pick like three or four musicals to pick from. It could be Rocky Horror.
Woo!
It could be Heathers and Miss Saigon.
Mm.
And I know you guys are gonna hate me for this, but we could have a classical one in there. Just
I'm happy with that.
variety.
I have a classical voice.
Just for variety.
I don't think there's a lot. The problem with those is there's not a lot of opportunities to do gender bent things out of a lot of those, like a lot of the musicals. Like what was the second one you said? The first one you said was
First one I said Rocky Horror, Heathers, and
all good songs.
Saigon.
That you could get. Like
the only thing is with Miss Saigon, I feel like there's only kind of one gag we could pull, and that's this non-Asian person's being the Asian character, and this woman who should be the Asian character is being the man. Ha ha ha. I feel like once we've done that, that's all we can kind of do with Miss Saigon, because other than that, we'd all just be gender bending the same character.
I quite like the idea of doing Matilda, or like something like
Yeah,
that.
actually, that'd be really fun because we're not kids.
Imagine doing Revolting Children.
I could totally see Steph doing that. Oh yeah. Yeah, I know. Man, no, pipe that down.
We could definitely do like Newsies because those are all like lads.
Oh yeah, actually.
Oh, ballet.
Emma Santa Fe. Emma singing Santa Fe. That's all I want.
But Matilda wise, swings. Swings.
Is that a health and safety hazard getting swings in the theatre?
No.
The thing about Santa Fe and Matilda as well is that there's quite a few opportunities to like sorry, let me just say this. There's quite, with a lot of musicals that we could gender bend. With these musicals, there is an opportunity to appropriate.
Yes.
Like, I'm scared in case, because a lot of people would be like, oh, like Jungle Book or Lion King, and that's just, it's too much. I couldn't do that. It's with Matilda and stuff. It's easy to just
It's
Media
slightly
channels.
safer.
There's
if
a
that
lot of
makes sense.
there's a lot of teetering you could get with some shows.
Yes.
So do you want to start doing the next lot of mind maps? Like, unless everyone started doing that, and I
Do we
just
do another? Do we do another lot?
you do like another mind map, so one mind map for 6, and then write a load of like more detailed stuff, and then another mind map for variety of
I've just been adding on to my original mind map.
I know we need to create 3 different videos, don't we? One for each thing.
So do you want to stop this one?
Video.
We should probably stop recording. Becky, can
What's
you
this?
stop?
Do not
We'll
say-
just discuss everything that we have discussed again for each one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'd say in the next one just focus on like 6, and then we'll stop it, and then the next one just focus on variety of opportunities.
That's banging. Right, I'll stop recording.